Hey everyone, Prestito here. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering my altcoin holdings, and I'm going to be covering two projects that I newly added, and I did post about these projects on my socials already. So if you're following me there, you'll know about it already, but I'll go more in depth about these projects. And I'm going to be talking about some of the projects I'm currently holding and what I think about them on the price and so on, if it's a good entry and so on. So let's get started with the first project that I want to talk about. And as you guys know, the market did have a tiny bit of a dip lately, so I think there's some good entry potential once the bull market resumes. So let's talk about the first project. As you can see on the screen here, Victoria VR, which is a blockchain based virtual reality metaverse. So here you can see how it's going to kind of look, and I think it really does look really impressive. And basically, it's the first blockchain-based MMORPG in virtual reality with pro graphics built on the Unreal Engine. And it also aims to create a new metaverse of multi-dimensional interactions where users will be able to immerse themselves interactively with never-ending digital content. And the whole world is built to be a universal platform for all virtual realities, including games and decentralized applications, which will all collectively create this metaverse. And it's going to be a shared virtual realm, basically a 3D internet. And they've had 2 years plus of building with a really strong team, and they've got the VR hype going for them. AI hype, as you know, NVIDIA is extremely hyped at the moment, and this ties into that hype. And it's also going to be, as per their goal, it's going to be where people go to work, rest, learn, play, and eventually live. So it's quite ambitious goal, which is always really good. And it's also one of the first steps with integration on the Apple VR. They also partnered with Dell, so that's both very huge. And they have their VR Builder AI, which is already live, and you can actually already build your own VR experiences. So if we move to the bottom of their page here, you can see also in terms of their tokens, what it's going to be useful. So their Victoria VR tokens is going to be the main currency within the VR ecosystem, and it's going to be vital for all transactions, in-game purchases, and the tokens are also going to be used for DAO and are going to be required for every creation in their VR AI builder. So that's the core of the entire VR platform. So if we move on, we can see they actually have a campaign running at the moment, which I believe is open still for about another month. And you can see here how to participate. If you want to check out this tweet, basically you have a chance to win from a $28,000 VR prize pool, so in their token, plus 13 VR lands, which also can be valuable. So in terms of weekly prizes, you can see there's $1,080 divided by 10 winners each, and one tier 4 VR land distributed every 2 weeks. So make sure to tune into that and participate if you're interested. I think it's always worthwhile. So now let's move on to their token price and see how that's doing and what my thoughts are. So if we have a look at the 1 year chart, you can see it did have a really nice pump recently, all the way up to about 60 cents almost, or 6 cents. And now with the recent market dip, it's sitting at just over half of that. So I think the entry now is really solid, especially when you consider their market cap and compare it to some of their competitors. For example, some of the other competitors that come to mind is like Mana, Sand, and Axie Infinity. And if we look at the market caps, VR, you can see it's around 200 million circulating market cap. And if we look at Mana, for example, they had an all-time high of 7 billion, currently around 1.2 billion. So you can see that's between 6x and something like 30x from here. So that is some significant gains to reach that market cap. Same with Sand, that's also pretty similar market cap as Mana, so it's same potential comparing to that. And Axie Infinity was even higher than that, about 1.5 times higher at all-time high. So you can see the potential there for Victoria VR, especially with what they're building, their partnerships, and what's to come. So I definitely recommend you guys to stay tuned. And personally, I've entered and holding this for long term. So let's talk about the next project, which is GameGPT, and their ticker is Dual, and they've got different types of hype going for them. They've got AI hype, GameFi hype. They're backed by Animoca Brands and DAO Maker. So if we have a look at their website, you can see it's an AI-driven game builder, and they've got other things going for them too, but this is their main focus. And you can see powering the next 10,000 blockchain games with one token, which is their Dual token. And they've also got a lot of approved game interactions that have over 150 million active users, and that is of League of Legends, Valorant, and all these platforms and games which have these amount of users. Also, they have 5,000 active players already and 75,000 registered users. And you can see their team with experience of 2 exits has been working for 3 years to create a new game AI engine. So that's all really impressive. So far, they're going to have 10,000 games powered by Duel, as you can see. Wager on billion-dollar games, or the latest Pepe AI game with staking Duel. The winner pays 10% cash back in Duel DAO. And if we scroll down to see how it will basically look and seem, it really seems awesome. As you can see over here, they post here, create a sci-fi shooter, a battle in ruins showcasing futuristic soldiers with plasma weapons fighting against robotic enemies. You can see how it would look, and you can see a minimalist puzzle game, RPG game. So the potential is insane if they manage to pull this off like they say. I think that's really impressive. Definitely something I would use, and I'm sure everyone would use to create their own games in this manner. So that's very, very impressive. So let's have a look at their gamer suite and what they have. So as you can see, they have Arcade. This is going to be where you can just play your own blockchain mini games with a click of a button, and you don't need to set up a wallet or anything like that. It's just simple gaming and having fun. Then they have Challenge, where you can compete in 1v1 challenges or group challenges where you can wager against others. And well, that's in the top Web 2 and Web 3 game titles. So among those games, you can challenge people, and you can also create your own challenges with your own rules that you set up. And also for developing games, they're going to have open source AI tools, which they use to build games, and you can create your own game and host it in Arcade. Then they're also going to have a swap feature, and of course the wallet to make everything really simple and straightforward from Prism. So let's have a look at the price, what it's sitting at. You can see it's at 1.4 cents in the past, well, day, doesn't really matter. Let's have a look at the past 3 months. It did launch only in January, and you can see it's recovered quite nicely from the bottom where it was at 0.4 cents. And it recently had a decent pump all the way to almost 3 cents, 2.5 cents actually, and now it's sitting at 1.4 cents. So you can see this is probably a solid entry. You can see how it's been steadily going up, and I can easily see it having another leg up very soon. So Dual GPT, also a token I'm holding at least medium to long term. I think it's a really solid project what they're building. It's all really impressive. So those are the 2 projects that I recently added to my altcoin portfolio, and I'm going to be talking about a few projects that are already covered in past videos, which I just want to give some updates on, especially regarding the price. So COTI is a project I've been talking about a lot on my socials, and I made a video on them already. So if you want to check that out, you can search through my YouTube channel and you'll see it there. But we can have a look at their price, and that's what I wanted to talk about specifically, that I'm really impressed by, because as you know, market had a bit of a dip recently. Some tokens and alts actually dipped quite significantly, but COTI held up very, very strong in comparison to some other tokens. As you can see how steady it has been, and now it's starting to head up again, and I think we will see new all-time high really soon for COTI. You can see the recent pump went up to 27 cents and now sitting at 20 cents, so the dip was very minimal from the top. So I think this is going to keep going. It picked up tons of hype recently, and I think it's well justified, and I think it's going to keep running. So this is a bag I'm holding long term. Then the next project is UNKJD. I also made a video on this one, so check out my channel for that if you'd like. But if we have a look at the token price, this is one that actually did dip a bit more than some other tokens. So I really think this has really good entry at the moment. As you can see, the downside is quite minimal from here, in my opinion. And you can see the upside just to the recent pump from 10 days ago. You're looking at 2x at least. So I think this is one that's really solid. Market cap's also very low. The volume is quite low at the moment, and generally those are times where it could be good to enter a token. If we have a look at the all-time chart, obviously can't really compare to this all-time high because of the circulating tokens, but I really do think this has potential to pump back up. As you can see, it's sitting at the low of the recent pumps. So definitely one to check out and worthwhile getting into, in my opinion. Then next up, Katana INU. So this GameFi project is one of my favorite, and I called it multiple times. As you can see, I tweeted about it on the 20th of August 2023, back when it was 0.00042. And then I tweeted again earlier this year, 1st of March. Actually, you can see when it was 0.0017 around there, that I'm still very bullish, and I added a bit more to that bag. And as you can see here from this post, this was the original one. It's up significantly from there, over 4x, and recently it actually went up to almost 5x, maybe a bit more actually, to 0.003. So that's really pro, obviously, and you can see it dip down also a little bit, but not that much again compared to some other tokens. So these alts have really been holding very strong, and I think again this will keep flying soon. It's only at 50 million market cap. I think it deserves to be well over 100, so that is another solid hold of mine. Lastly is DGI Game, which is one of the best performers I've been holding, and I'm still holding, and I plan to keep holding this one. Really bullish on it. I made a dedicated video on this one as well, if you want to check my channel to see more about it. But there are some updates I want to share with you guys. First one is, you can see here they've now garnered over 10,000 holders of their token, which is really amazing. And you can see here next up they've got 3 major partnerships, more monthly staking rewards distributions, and they got some huge revenue. And as you can see, they're posting a little teaser on something they've been working on, which I'm curious to see what that's going to be. You can see Dylan Dennis actually posted about them recently, which is really pro. And if we move on, we can see a bit more info about their revenue, which you can see 3 million in annual revenue, which is really incredible. And as you can see, 50% of the revenues go to staking rewards. And you can see the staking rewards are sitting at 45% APY, which is really huge APY. And that makes me very bullish and makes me think it's still very, very undervalued, because obviously APYs in general across other projects tend to be under 10% or so, and this is sitting at almost 50%. So I really think the price will adjust to lower that APY, and that would mean that the price could still go up significantly from here, which I think will happen. So really bullish on them. Again, this is a project that's held extremely strong throughout this little dip we've had recently. You can see it went to a high of 7.7 cents, and now it's still sitting at around 6 cents. So it barely dipped, and I think it's going to keep running soon, since it broke this little downtrend it had. So market cap's around 50 million, still very undervalued in my opinion. I think 100 million is very easy target in the short term, but I'm going to be holding this one long term because those revenues are already insane. So if this video helped you guys, these are the alts I'm holding, at least some of the bigger holdings I have. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.